I'm a psychologist who teaches people to stop avoiding their uncomfortable thoughts. And for the past several months, I have been expertly, masterfully avoiding one of mine. Hi, I'm Dr. Stephanie Best. I teach fellow members of Club Human how to use mind body wellness to loosen anxiety's grip, live courageously, and build lives they love. So I had a weekly Zen meditation practice for years. I went to a Sangha, which is a community of people who meditate together for a long time, every week, every Sunday morning. And then life got full, as it does. I had a lot of travel and trips out of town, family coming into town, a new relationship, his daughter, time with her, and I just kind of quietly stopped showing up. It wasn't really intentional at first. There was no dramatic exit. It was just drift. I bet you can relate to this in your own busy life. So I really hadn't gone for a long time. I was feeling pretty guilty about it because I had felt warm and close with these people. And I just kind of disappeared, and I knew it didn't sit right with me. And then one day I was out at a networking meeting of other therapists, and I ran into one of the members of my meditation group who happens to also be a therapist. And he was there, and he came up, and I was genuinely delighted to see him, but I also felt embarrassed. My mind started chattering at me, and he mentioned the group and how they missed me and hadn't seen me a while, and it seemed he had a puzzled look on his face, and I thought he was puzzled by my disappearance. I smiled and I said, I think something vague about being busy and walked away. And then I kept trying not to think about it. Right? Maybe you've had this experience too, where there's something that you don't want to think about that keeps popping into your mind. Here's the thing. Like I said, I'm a psychologist. I teach people to stay present with discomfort. And I have been successfully, well, somewhat successfully avoiding this particular discomfort for months or trying to. That's not hypocrisy. That's being human. The mind is very good at protecting us from thoughts that feel unresolved or socially awkward or just too much to deal with right now. Right? And that's the thing. Avoidance seems to work, or really it does work in the short term. That's why we do it. Short term, not thinking about something genuinely reduces discomfort. The problem is, it doesn't resolve anything, and it just adds weight over time because the thought doesn't disappear, you might have noticed. It goes underground for a while, and then it starts taking up space in a different way, and then it pops up again. And when it pops up, it feels even heavier. The research on thought suppression is quite clear on this. The more we try to suppress a thought, the more we try to get rid of it, the more we have of it, right? In acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, the type of therapy that I practice, we call this experiential avoidance because psychologists love to come up with fancy terms. But it's really about avoiding your own internal experience, your own experience of being a human. Right? And the cost of it is almost always higher than the cost of the thing we're avoiding. If you haven't recently had this experience of thought rebound, here's a quick way to experience it yourself. Think about the last time you thought of, I don't know, a purple platypus. Maybe you've never thought of a purple platypus, right? Set a timer on your phone and for 30 seconds, challenge yourself to not think about a purple platypus for 30 seconds. That's all you have to do. Try it out and let me know in the comments what you find. I think you'll find that you see purple platypuses everywhere, even though maybe you've never thought of one. All I have to do to make them ever present in your mind, or a herd of them threatening to press in from the back of your consciousness, all I have to do is tell you not to think of one. So, how do we get out of this tendency of being a human? Well, we can't. Thoughts are going to still try to come up and hook us. But one concrete unhooking move is to notice the thought and name it. Right? Simply notice and name it. Labeling it in this way creates a little distance from it. So you might start by saying, oh, I'm having the thought that, or the story my mind keeps telling me is, right? So in my case, it might be, I'm having the thought that I should go back to the meditation group. Or the story my mind keeps telling me is, I'm a bad person for disappearing on them in that way. right? And here's the thing, these are just thoughts. They're not facts. Thoughts are not facts. Okay? And naming them in this way, I'm noticing that I'm having the thought. I'm having the thought that, or the story my mind keeps telling me is, right? If you can notice a thought, you can't be the thought. And naming it or noticing it in this way creates some distance between you and the thought. And in that distance, there's more freedom. Okay. Freedom to be curious and less judgmental about the thought. Freedom to consider what maybe is at stake here, what your mind is trying to tell you. Maybe there's some value of yours that you're crossing, which is, I think, the case for me. Right? So, freedom to choose differently, freedom to maybe move differently than how you've been moving. Maybe in my case, it means reaching back out to maybe that one member and just being open and genuine and saying, I feel crummy. I hate the way that I left you guys. Um, you really meant a lot to me. And even though it's just not very convenient for me in my new life to fit this group in, I wish I would have let you know what you meant to me and said a proper goodbye. And maybe I could make time in the future on one Sunday to come back and tell them that in person. Oh, it's okay. I'm human. I bet every single member of that community has had a similar kind of experience in their own life, trying to avoid some other social situation or thought that they felt guilty about, that they were judging themselves for, that probably no one else related to the incident is judging them nearly as harshly for. Right? And just labeling or noticing thoughts like this that you've been trying to avoid, you don't have to solve the issue related to the thought today. But if you stop pretending it's not sitting in the room with you, you'll be taking a powerful step toward lessening its control over you. And you'll see that you have other options. So if this resonated with you, I made a free guided meditation that's a good first step towards sitting with what's uncomfortable instead of running from it. I'll link it in the description. It's only 15 minutes and it's a gentle way to start practicing this. Give it a try. Let me know how it goes in the comments. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.